Thank you. Is that better? Yeah. Fine. So this is just a little bit about me and how I've ended up where I am today. I've done everything from shop girl, visual merchandiser, production manager, wholesale manager, bookkeeper, financial manager, company director, and now I'm a managing director, meaning I'm top dog at the company. I've also been a musician, DJ, digital artist. I've run my own company. I've been a coffee maker. I've made lights, and I've covered books for the State Library of Tasmania. So I've included all of that so you know who I am, but also to know everybody's path is going to be a winding road, especially for all you little young faces down the front. Who knows what's going to happen? It could be like that, you know? You can use me while I'm here to ask me any question about anything from my personal and professional experience. I can give you industry secrets, help you for your next steps in your career. No question is too weird or too stupid. This is particularly for people who are too shy, don't worry. I ask really embarrassing questions. I embarrass my boyfriend all the time. Don't worry, you can ask anything you want. I can repeat and explain again, tell me when I'm boring, and I love cats. So I'm going to do a bit about CV and resume formatting, working with recruitment consultants, going for a job interview, and sort of a portfolio masterclass. For you guys, if something's not so interesting to you or you really want to know, raise a hand, say no, don't need to know. But the first thing everybody always wants to know is, how do you want the CV? Or what should my CV look like? Or what should I do? Let me think. Let me choose my words carefully. You may have part of your coursework here in the university that is about doing a CV. Think of it like this. Whatever the university tells you to do, they are your first client and you tailor your CV to do your coursework. Because this is just my opinion. And does that kind of make sense, what I'm saying? It's like every job you apply for is different. This is specifically for how I would like to receive it and my company. And there are reasons why, which I'll explain. And it's specifically tailored for somebody who's just graduating who won't have loads of work experience. So, name and address at the top. You don't put your date of birth in the UK because of, I can't think of the right word now, discrimination laws. People can't, if you put your date of birth, people can then make a decision on your age about whether they're going to employ you or not. You don't need to put your date of birth there. You can disclose it if you want to, but you don't have to. Same with pictures. You don't have to put your picture on there. That's another thing that can't be necessarily requested for a CV or a job application. You know how people have an opening statement on the beginning of a CV? It's like, oh yes, I'm this and I do that and I'm great and da 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 da. I never read it, ever, never. So, keep it brief if you do want to put something there. The reason why I don't read it is because I see hundreds of applications a day. You might want to put special skills about yourself right in the people's face. Like, I can't think of an example. Like if you've got special printing techniques that you know how to do, or special hand stitching, or something like that. I'm just trying to keep the examples relevant to what you guys might do. But just keep it brief. Don't torture yourselves. A lot of people spend hours trying to write it and then it gets taken off or ignored anyway. Put your education next. Because you don't have so much work experience, this can be really important to put the degrees you studied, and the awards that you got in your study. You don't need to list your A-levels. You younger dudes, you might need to put A-levels when you get there, or any other educational experience you have, until you get your university degree, which will be at this university, right? You? Graphic design. Yeah. It's the glasses, mate. Either that or a recruitment consultant. You and me, we can go all the way, straight to the top. Right. Then, when you want to come about explaining your employment, you just have the dates, the name, and then do it in bullet points. When you write stuff in a narrative on a CV, nobody reads it. You just need... can you actually see the example down the back of the kind of things it says? It says who you reported to, number of people who reported to you, parts of the role you were the sole decision maker of, for, parts that were part of a team, factories you've had experience at, countries where you visited, and then any achievements. Start with your most recent position first and list backwards and go all the way back to internships and placements if you feel that experience is relevant. You guys are going to have probably internships, placements, retail experience. Keep what you write relevant and just say you worked in a restaurant and you're applying for a job at, I don't know, Ted Baker, say. They don't really need to know the details of you being in the kitchen or collecting money or cleaning. You just need to say wherever you work, the restaurant, service, and the period of time. What do you think about that? You. I'm pointing at you. No, behind you. He wasn't even listening, he was looking over there. If it's boring, let me know what to do. You fine? Okay. If you speak another language, great, add those on. Any software skills, put those on. Personal interests. If it's relevant to what you're applying for, put them on. But I love reading, cooking, drinking red wine, watching TV. Doesn't say anything about you because everybody's is the same. So the examples I say here, and in fact nobody cares, by the way, in a professional sense, nobody cares. I know that sounds really harsh. Maybe I should say that with a little bit more love now, but just after seeing thousands of CVs and going, I don't care. But if you're an avid cyclist and you want to work for a bike company, so if you really want to work for a company like Rafa and you do cycling, hello? Was that a question? Behind you. Was that a question? You sure? Okay. Then include it. Does that make sense though about interests? Or do you think I'm just being a bitch? What do you think?
Well, yeah, you say that personal interests aren't very significant. That's fair enough. But that's always at the end. Is there another page or is that it?
This, obviously, as people get more experience, will extend the CV. So,
how many pages do you read? Two?
For me, if somebody's CV is really good and they haven't put loads of waffle all the way through and they've kept things to, like a bullet point, there's room for everybody in the world. You might have unique skills that I have to read every detail about your CV, but I would read 5 pages if all of the CV was relevant to the position that individual was applying for and told me stuff specifically about their talent and their role and wasn't going off into stuff that's not pertinent to what it is you're applying for. So I'm 43. I probably don't need to put on my CV anymore, which I don't, retail jobs I had when I was 20. Do you know what I mean? It's not relevant anymore.
So basically, keep it as short as possible.
Keep it as focused on the position you're applying for as possible. So if everything you've done relates to that position, go for it. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Just on the point on the length of the CV.
Yeah.
Before university, I've never had any experience working in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
It's always been in admin
Yeah.
jobs. So all of my CV and pages, but it's all focused on the admin.
Yeah.
How does it, when I'm applying for something related to fashion?
If it's if you wanted to get an admin job in fashion, it's the same.
I don't. That's the
Oh.
thing. So do I get rid of that? Because obviously that's my only.
You don't get rid of it, but you don't have to go into detail about everything. It could just be like a few lines about each role, Because what you want to do is write as much as possible about the stuff that is relating to a role, to the role that you're applying for, because that is you've got to leave something left for the interview. If you've told them everything, you're just like, well, reading it all out again. Does that kind of answer the question though? It's maybe you should send me the CV and the job you're applying for, and I'll help you out. Anyway, on our website, that template that you just saw, you can download it by going to academic, CV and resume advice, and just taking down, it's a Word document, and just filling it in. So I hope that helps. We've also got some portfolio advice there, interview advice, and some stuff especially for graduates too, which you might want to have a look at. Okay, when you're writing your applications, these are things we see all the time, and I'm going to implore you not to write them. I'm an award-winning designer. If you've got a BAFTA, you are an award-winning actor. BAFTA is like a big award for actors. If you get a Nobel Peace Prize, that's an award. It's okay to list your awards for the things that you've got at university. They should appear on your CV. But try and keep things in perspective, would be my advice. We've had a candidate turn up to an interview saying to a creative director at a brand, go, and I'm an award-winning designer, and it was just some weird award thing, and it didn't go very well for her, and she didn't get the job because of it. So maybe he had a big ego, I don't know. Anyway, the next one, passion for fashion. Okay, everybody writes this one, passion for fashion. It's the worst. There must be another way to say it. I for detail, and then so that's like a red rag to a bull to me. I go down, are all the lines straight here? Is all the formatting correct? Are all the bullets right? Is there a double spacing between any of the commas? What's going on? If I find one, then they don't have an eye for detail, and once you find one mistake, you'll find 5, I promise. So don't say that one particularly to me if you send me your application. Young designers quite often say, I'm a creative director, because they've just graduated, maybe they've got their own little brand on the side. Think carefully about saying this to people, because it can rule you out for jobs, because people might see your title on LinkedIn, creative director, 26 years old, and think, no way. Really, a creative director is somebody in the industry who will be at the top of their career, maybe have had 20 years of experience. Again, just think about that in terms of the industry as a whole. And I've been designing since I was a child. It might be true, but everybody writes this and it sounds really silly, because then they go, I've been designing since I was a child, and making clothes for my Snoopy in front of my mother, who was a tailor. I think there's another way, a better way of selling yourself. And then writing about yourself in third person. We get applications from people who are saying, for example, Emma's career has taken her all over the world. It's a real turn-off too, not just for us, not just for me, but also our clients. It's better to say, I did this is who I am, rather than trying to make it sound like a press release. Okay, any questions so far? Not a one?
I mean, I understand all
Yeah.
the ones from the last page, except for the I'm a creative director bit. I'm not.
Yes.
Obviously, but if someone is at 26, for example, why shouldn't they be celebrated for being?
In the industry in which I work, a creative director would be someone who is the creative director of, well, Dolce & Gabbana, it's Dolce & Gabbana, or John Ray is the creative director of Dunhill, or what I mean is, specifically, young designers who have their own brand, maybe they've got they sell a little bit online, they don't really know what it means to be a creative director, to be taking care of not just the design of the brand, but the image of the brand, the artistic direction, the advertising. You know, it's, yeah. Okay, sending your CV. Get a professional email address. My favourite candidate email address is, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is in case you'll email her, but it's something like sexyotter69@hotmail.com. You cannot send CVs off to people. You don't understand what I'm talking about, I know, but you cannot, you need to find yourself a decent email address for a start. Subject line should or could be like a mini CV. So, because obviously your name's going to come up, so it'll be like me, Emma Davidson, and then just something about yourself. Here I've got, it's an IFM, which is another university, Women's Wear Design grad from 2015, and those 3 brands there are where they've done internships. It could be whatever you are, and then looking for women's wear design roles. So often we get an email, and it just says, hi, or application, and then I can never find it again amongst all the other hundreds that I've got. Sometimes I just think, ugh, delete. Or the other girls in the office, because we get so many to go through, and I'm sorry to sound harsh about it, but it's a really competitive industry. And anything you guys can do to help yourself is great. Email should take no longer than 30 seconds to read. Attachments no bigger than 5 to 8 megabytes. Jokes don't work. And keep information appropriate to the situation. So, longer than 30 seconds. Goodbye. This one. It's a mess. Goodbye. Like, just for example, he's saying he's an art director. Okay, this is for the graphic design students amongst you all. An art director. There you go. What's that about? Sending me an email like that, not even nicely formatted. Look at this. Knock, knock, and a little duck face. That's not professional. And then this one, it's very sad, this person. As you see my CV, on my CV, my background's in fashion, but due to a death in the family. I feel sorry for this person, please, but keep it to the point. Now, this is lovely, this one. To whom it may concern, I'm registered with Denza. Since I've done this experience, I've got 2 years experience now. I'm looking for new roles. She's telling me exactly what she wants. I'd be greatly appreciated if you consider me for future roles, but done. I know exactly what she wants. I know who to forward it to in the office. I don't have to read it all. She looks like, well, she did make one mistake here. lowercase I, but she looks like, you know, I feel confident about this one. Another great one, doing the same thing, telling me where they are, what they want, very clean, very clear, lovely. Cool. Do you need it back so you can take another picture? Quick. You all done? Okay, now this one I wrote as an example of what I would like. If you need the ultimate perfect example. Okay, quickly, you should all photograph this one. And if you find a spelling mistake, please email me and let me know. Okay. Do you guys want to know about all agencies and other agencies and all that stuff, or not really? It's kind of boring. No. Denza, yes, you. You want to see the greatest email ever written. Da, da, da. Thank you so much.
We're going to need this.
Yeah.
I can email it to you.
I want it now. Thank you.
Yeah. We all done? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to skip that. Okay, so in my office, there's me. My email address is at the end of this, but there's also Nika Novozalova. Took me ages to learn how to pronounce her name. She specialises in menswear and womenswear design. She also does everything else that we cover, textiles, children wear. She doesn't do any studio-based roles, which is production, product development, pattern cutting, nothing like that. Then we have Kate Sunderland, whose name cracks me up because my boyfriend's from Sunderland and his team is Sunderland on the football and they don't win very often. And then this is just our general reception email. Do you want to know this stuff? I know, yeah, because I know Mo spoke to some of you today. She probably told you the nice version. I'm going to tell you the bitch face version. Yeah. Okay, so how to present yourself, how to prepare, how to conduct yourself in an interview, and what questions you're going to be asked. So this is if you come for an interview at Denza with one of our team, okay? And you can apply this to a job interview as well. But first of all at Denza, we expect you to bring your CV, your portfolio, your sketchbook, your swatch box, if you do like embroidery and textiles and stuff like that, and a notebook, because you're going to ask questions and you're going to want to take notes, right? And a pen. You really don't look happy about being here. What can I, just for you, what can I do? You good? You good? It's relaxed, and as you can see, I'm quite a dag, so, you know, like I don't care. So it is quite informal, and we'll be assessing how you speak about yourself, though, sorry, and how we think you're going to represent us at an interview. So you'll come to us, and we will be checking you out. Yes, we will be informal, but it's like, how are you going to go to our client? How are you going to look? How are you going to speak about yourself? How are you going to be able to talk through your portfolio? If we think you need a hand, though, that's where we come in. We'll say, it might help if you wash your hair. But in a nice way. Why are you laughing? Well, the thing is, just say you want to get an internship at Alexander McQueen, right? You just want to do some print design at Alexander McQueen. I can promise you there's going to be another 30 people there who all want the same opportunity. So I guess any little tidbit might help. You don't have to listen to us. You can tell us to bugger off. That's okay too, because it's like working together. But if we think it's going to help your chances at the position, then we'll tell you. And hopefully you can appreciate that it's coming from a good place. I've never had to tell anyone to wash their hair, by the way. We can check out your work very quickly, advise what to put in your portfolio, what to leave out. We can recommend projects for you to add to your portfolio and bring it up to date. And we will ask you all sorts of questions. So it's not just your skills and experience, but to get to know you a little and to be able to make a good match with a client and their studio. So, in some studios that I know, they prefer women to wear high heels. And to be not just women. Everyone in the company has to dress to a very high standard of suit, heels, well-groomed, at executive level. Whereas another studio, you can just go meltdown. It's totally fine. So I need to know where you fit in. There's no point me sending somebody who's, you know, into Jeremy Scott and like raver stuff over to a company where they're going to expect you to wear a suit, you know, and vice versa. Some companies, it's okay to mess around and, you know, just chill out vibes. Other companies, it's really formal. So it's about matching the company to you as much as you to the company. Does that make sense? We want everybody to be happy and we want you to stay there. We don't want you to leave. You will be given, this is really important, you will be given the opportunity to ask all sorts of questions about our clients, the type of role we think you should be suitable for, and hopefully at the end you think we're a good fit for you and Danza is the right agency to represent you. You're not obliged to stick with us. We actually recommend that you go and see other agencies and find who is best for you, and also to remember that other agencies, we might be in competition for the same jobs. And this is true for any kind of agency, any industry. We might be pitching for the same job, and so we lose out, but you're registered with the other agency, doesn't matter anyway, because you will still end up being put forward. Does that make sense, that scenario I just explained? So there are other agencies who don't want you to register with anyone else, but we actually say the opposite, which is being registered with as many people as possible. Tell the recruitment consultant as much as possible. You don't have to tell them what you think they want to hear. Be honest, and don't let anyone ever, ever, ever push you into a job that you think is not right for you. I hear stories about that all the time, and it's just horrible. Because even though I'm a bitch, I'm also a hippie. I'm from Tasmania, and it's like really bush vibes, you know? I could walk from my house into the bush like really quickly, and me and my sister would make damper and just hang out in the gum trees. And don't forget 3 cats, so, you know. So, at the real interview, you want to dress for the company and the role, which I just explained to you. I've known people to go out where the job is that they want, the company they want, find out where the staff entrances exit is, and clock what people are wearing. They wanted a job at an LVMH company and they wanted to know how to dress. So they live in Paris, so they went and stood there to find out what the appropriate dress should be for the interview. Research any company. This is the same for any job anywhere. Research the company, visit the flagship store, visit other stores and compare. Check the company website, read the Wikipedia page, look in the magazines for their advertising campaign, look at the company's global market, have an idea in your mind of who the customer is for the brand. Everything. I nearly lost a job because the client said to me, "So, did you see our website recently?" And I hadn't checked it. And she didn't speak to me for the rest of the lunch appointment at all. I got the job, but just note to self, make sure you do your research. Research the person that you're going to meet via LinkedIn. Double check your portfolio best represents your skills but is geared towards the client and the role. And ensure your recruitment consultant has given you the time, date, address, names and any special instructions for the building. Like, do you need your ID? Because in the United States, if you ever go for a job, you need your passport to get into lots of big buildings because they all think that you might be a terrorist. A load of boring questions. Take a picture of it, read it later. But prepare those questions. Practice being discreet. Never bitch about former employers in the interview, ever, because everybody knows everybody. Practice smiling at everyone. This is a good one. People forget this. They go and see the receptionist and they're just rude to her. But there are some companies where everybody's opinion is important. And you'll leave and they'll ask the receptionist. They'll ask the other people who you walk past in the studio, what do you think? What do you think? What's your 10-second vibe on them? So just remember, you're on show the whole time you're there. Anyone that you come across, oh my God. I went to this job interview once. They were trying to headhunt me a few years ago. And it was really awkward. I needed a wee before the interview. So I was there waiting. There was only one women's toilet. I was waiting. And then this woman came out of the toilet. And I was like, hi. And then it turned out to be the woman who was interviewing me for the job. And like, imagine if I don't know how you could be awful to someone in the toilet, but just, you never know where you're going to run into somebody. So who it is that you're speaking to, or okay, you ready? Any questions? Do you want to know what do you do after an interview if you don't get it? If you do get it? Is that interesting? Yeah? Who said yes? You want to know. What job do you want to get? You want to be a singer, right. So you've just auditioned for a band. Yeah, you. This is just make-believe, okay? Now, it's been very formal, it's all been through an agent, loads of letters, stuff like that. It could be the same for a singer, it could be the same for a fashion designer. As soon as you've had your interview, or you've had your, what do you do when you go and sing? Audition. Call the agent and you tell them what you think. Exactly everything that went good, bad, everything you think you did wrong, right. Any weird questions the client might have asked. For example, they're not allowed to ask you, are you planning to have any children? Do you have a boyfriend? Are you gay? They're not allowed to ask you how old are you? You're not allowed to be asked anything personal. So feel free to tell your consultant, they can sort that out for you. If you've applied directly, email a brief note. Don't send through additional work unless they ask for it, because they probably don't want it. You do need to be a bit pushy, but don't be a stalker. So, every 3 days for about 3 weeks, and then forget it. You didn't get the job. If it's through an agency, a good consultant will have feedback for you as to why you were not successful. If through direct application, email a brief note asking them for the interview, thanking them for the interview opportunity, and that they can have the CV for the future. Don't send through additional work or information unless it was requested, and don't be a stalker. And because you didn't get the job, do not send an arsey email like I got the other day from someone applying to work with us saying, well, you should be thankful that I even turned up to the interview. No. Like a huge, big, long thing. I'll never contact her about anything again. And I actually was saying, look, I don't think you'd like this job in our office. It's not creative enough for you. Can I register you as a stylist? She said, well, forget her. Anyway, if you're not happy with what happened, call your friend. Don't call the agency and don't call the client, because it's not appropriate. They might keep you on file for something else, but if you just do what this girl did, funnily enough, her name was Vanessa, not my boss, obviously, old boss, but I don't know what time is it? I don't even know how long I'm meant to talk for. What have I done? Okay, fine. Okay. So, this is for specifically a fashion design portfolio. I cannot speak with any authority on a graphic design, or an illustrated design, or an animation portfolio. But maybe some of this information will be useful to anyone else who's in the room. Also, if you've been told by your course leaders how they want the portfolio to be done for the end of year, you do what they say first, then you love them and leave them once you've graduated, and then you do what I say if you come and see me. Okay? You only need one portfolio. A simple A4 or A3 portfolio is best, and constructed in a way that allows you to change the pages around and remove some projects so you can tailor your portfolio to the client. One day you might be applying for ASOS, the next day it might be North Face, or it might be something like Erdem, really frilly and pretty. So you need to be able to pull things in and out. Clients don't want to see work that's not appropriate for the interview. Recent work first, oldest work at the back. 3 to 4 projects in your portfolio. Use your judgment as to whether it's still relevant. This is after you've graduated, that bit. I've seen some really beautiful ornate portfolios in the past where they're like all tied together with a ribbon and like metal sheets all woven and just say your interview goes really badly and then there's like pages everywhere and you just can't pull it all back together and leave gracefully. It's a downer, that's what that is. Also, think about how heavy it is or how big it is, how easy it is to move it around. Make sure, this is super important, make sure the work in your portfolio is 100% yours, and if it's not, label it accordingly. So sometimes we get work sent through to us, work examples, and it's research and mood boards and all that stuff, and it doesn't say mood board or inspiration on it, and we don't know if it's your work or somebody else's, or so you should say who the original artist was or whoever it is, just somewhere in your portfolio. These are some, they're too full, but these are just the kind of books I'm talking about. I don't know what that you guys do here. You might have your own style. They're just like, normal black book or a box, which some people have with loose pages. Fashion design students, please don't use an iPad. First of all, you lose a lot of your project integrity by having things digitally. Creative people like to touch fabrics, textures, see the real drawing, and I see so many people going through a project, just touching stuff and talking. Yes. It's good for saving work, it's good for saving PDFs. If you're travelling, just say a designer was travelling and they were going to New York, and so there's like problems with cabin baggage and things. You might want to condense some of your portfolio onto an iPad, but still have a sketchbook with you so that they can see your true drawings, they can see what fabrics you would select and feel the quality that you would choose. I'm sure also for animation and I don't know actually for animation, maybe for animation or digital design, they would use iPads all the time. But for us, no. Does that answer your question? Maybe you don't need to beg your mum for another one for Christmas. Yeah, never know, you never know. Did you have a question or are you just scratching your face? Face scratcher, it's fine, don't worry. You've made me itchy now. Okay, we've only ever had one client that's asked to have digital work, and that was Hedy Slimane from Saint Laurent. It was only him. He doesn't want to see hand-drawn work. Everybody else wants to see hand-drawn work. There's all the technical problems that you could have with an iPad. People with iPads, don't let them go. They want to show you everything themselves. And they also don't want to hand it around the room, so you might be interviewed by 4 people at once. And sometimes we like to see the mess. And once it gets to this stage, we don't see your developmental drawings from your inspiration to the finished product, for example. A lot of people don't take images of all their toiling, stuff like that. It doesn't end up in a finished product, so I hate them. I use mine for Etsy and eBay, pretty much, and Ocado deliveries. That's it. If you want to have a look at some online examples, these Westminster have got their portfolios online. Antwerp in Belgium have theirs online. And you can go and see what other schools. Have a look at the other schools, see how they are doing their portfolios. They're really different from school to school to school to school. And they're not better than the other, they're just different, but, you know, just 2 to have a look at if you want. With your portfolio, you do all this work and it's for the end of year. You've got your collection, you've got your portfolio for the end of the year, but it doesn't stop there. You need to keep continually working on your portfolio for the rest of your life. She's gorgeous. This girl's gorgeous. So when you're on the job, remember to keep bits and pieces for your portfolio from each collection. So if you started work somewhere, you can keep stuff from work, put it in your portfolio. Like it says here, take photos, drawing, tech specs, fabric swatches, anything, and then it can come together as a new project. It's not something that you need to sit and do on the weekend. Is there a spelling mistake? Oh yeah, leaning. That's been there for years, that one as well. Everyone keeps pointing that one out. I failed. Keep your eye on the future and where you'd like to go, and create personal projects that are suiting to your employers of the future. So we get a lot of people coming to us say, I'm tired of doing high street stuff. I want to go up to the next. I want to do mid-level. I want to start doing luxury. If you don't have any projects like that in your book, I can't do anything with that. If you want to switch to women's wear from menswear, I need some women's wear projects. And then you always have to reevaluate how you feel about it. Are you confident enough to talk someone through it? I don't know how many times people show me their portfolio and go, I hate that. So take it out. Don't have it in there. You know, why have a rainy day? Just take it out. Does it show you your variety, speak clearly about your strengths, and does it relate specifically to the interview? Now, this is boring, right. So, this is a student's work who graduated from, oh, wait. No photos of the work. Is that okay? Yeah. Yes. I know that it's recorded on the talk, but I'm going to ask them to delete it. But just out of respect for these designers who are allowing me to use their work, no pictures for it, okay? Because I don't want to end up in like your mood boards and stuff like that. Right. So this was a student who did a project for a job at Proenza Schule. She did a lot of textiles and print work, so this was her, like a print she'd done. This is just to show you what a project should look like. This is her research, some more research, some print development, some sketches, and then the bags with the print on it, done. And how many pages? 6 or 7. That's just what I mean about a project. It doesn't have to be something that goes like a term long, like it does at university. Just quick. And this is a menswear one that a guy did for Stone Island. This is research, some print and other kind of research, bizzo. I don't know, other kind of research stuff that he did. Selection of colours and fabrics. And then 2 drawings and the technical flats. And that was it. And that is the end of my talk. That's my email address. Oh yes, clap.
Are there any questions from people? I've got one actually.
Yes.
How many clients do you have?
I did this the other day with someone and I said it's more like just pick out names and I'll tell you if they're a client or not, and he picked 3 in a row that were not clients. Yes, except yes. Yes. No. We've been in touch, but we haven't done any active work with them recently. But you know, we do stuff for the Cavallis, we do stuff for Calvin Klein, we do stuff with trying to think. Donna Karan, or in the past we did. No, they kind of tend to stick with Italian agencies, but it's completely across the globe. We work in the USA, Scandinavia, the whole of Europe, the Far East, and Australia. Not because of me, but because of just because we do.
One more question for you. If anyone has any questions here. I don't know if the Are you quite happy that guests will Thank you very much.
Oh no, it's fine. Thank you for being so patient. Good luck with the singing career.
Can I just say to the fashion students, I don't know if they're guys, can I just say to the fashion students, Emma's here, and she's squeezing like a little lemon now.
Or a big watermelon, probably.
And if you have your preferred,
Oh, please show me your portfolios.
that would be good.
I'll just quickly click through
Or
them.
I have a question.
You can email it to me.
So anything, I know Rob did it here. If you want to ask questions.
Is it because you can't hear? Is it because you can't hear?
Sorry?
Is it because you can't hear?
Very quiet.
Oh, hello. For little fashion students and anyone else, Emma's going to be here for a little bit longer, and as I said before, we want to squeeze her like a little lemon and get as much information from her as possible. So if you want to talk to her about your portfolios, if you want to show her anything from your portfolio, please do so now.
I'd love to see. I really would love to.
So we can actually go through to the fashion room now if you'd like to. And Emma, I'll set Emma up to sit there for a bit and crowd round her and ask her all those questions. Is that good for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rip.